Hey everyone, it's Celeste, and I wanted to film a 5-star prediction video. So here we are. I've seen some people film them and I never have done one, and I'm not ready. Like, I don't have my crap together to do a wrap-up or a TBR or anything right now. So I'll do this and I'll get to those other kinds of videos another time. So what I've done is I looked amongst the books that I physically own and I pulled out 5 that I predict will be 5-star reads for me. So this is a 5-star predictions. And I tried to also keep them separated into like different, you know, just like run the kind of the gamut of the genres that I keep kind of going to. So we'll see. Okay, so the first one that I want to mention, and yes, it is in a mass market paperback edition because it's all I could find, but I got a really good deal on it at a used bookstore, so that's nice. But this is Assassin's Apprentice by Robin Hobb. It's part of the, well, it's the first book of the Farseer trilogy. I have never read any Robin Hobb, so this is kind of a risk because I've never read any Robin Hobb, so I don't know. But several of the various, like, you know, reviewers that I pay attention to have rated it highly. So, okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. So, what's it about? And a lot of people have read it, so it's a familiar book. But it's about a kid named Fitz, and it follows throughout his life. Like the rest of the book's gonna follow his life. He is a bastard son of the prince. He's a royal bastard, and he has a rough go of it, and it is decided that he will be raised and trained to be a royal assassin. Okay, and so right there, I'm into it. Like, yes, that's good. And I really like fantasy like this. I like a nice chunky fantasy. And I mentioned just a few minutes ago, reviewers that I really respect have rated it highly. So I'm feeling okay about this. Feeling pretty good about this, right? And so I really want to get more of Robin Hobb. Like, I want to start reading these. I actually have the whole of this trilogy. So the other books are on the shelf. So I really think I'm going to love this book. Okay. So that's my first 5-star prediction for this video. Okay, cool. And I have my Goodreads open here on the screen beneath the camera so that I can, like, tell you a little what these are about, because I don't know, I can't memorize everything. So the second book that I think could be a 5-star read for me is The Poet X by Elizabeth Acevedo. This is YA, and it is written in verse. Okay, I am a fan of, like, if it's done well, I am a fan of books written in verse. Okay, and so and you can see these are like not stickers, they're like printed into it, printed stickers, right? This is an award-winning book. Okay, and it's what, a 2018 release, so it's not super old. The Robin Hobb book was from like the 90s, so not, to me, not old, but you know, whatever. But again, so let me tell you a little bit about this book. So this book is set in Harlem, New York City. Deals with a girl who is expressing herself by writing in her notebook, and she gets involved in slam poetry. She is Afro-Latina, and so that is, you know, that's right up my alley in the sense that I'm trying to read about diverse characters and from diverse authors. And so I'm like, slam poetry. Yes, please. New York. Yes, please. Right? In verse. Yes, please. And also the aesthetic on this cover is just like, I love it. It's goals. So, as I said, you know, with the first book, I looked at the reviews and some booktubers like Chelsea from Chelsea Doling Reads gave it 5 stars, right? And so I'm like, yeah, like we pretty line up on a lot of things, so I'm feeling good about that prediction. Okay, so next book, right? Because I said there was going to be 5. So the next book that I've picked up that I'm feeling pretty confident will be a 5-star read. And again, like, I hadn't read anything from Elizabeth Acevedo, so these are like all new to me authors. Like, I walked into this kind of blind. But this next one is Frederick Bachman, right? A Man Called Uve. Okay, so A Man Called Uve has been really popular, so you probably know what it's about. But it is about like this grumpy but lovable old man who lives in a neighborhood, and he's grouchy, and I like that there's a kitty. There's a kitty on the book cover. So I was like, yes, please, right? It's, what is it? I think it's from like 2015 or maybe before. It's translated, okay? But I think it's done well because, again, there are some really good reviews, and reviewers that I trust have said really good things like this. And I like a grouchy old man, and if there's a cat on the cover, like, that's a good sign for me. So, yeah. So this, I think, could be a 5-star read. I think I'll like, you know, Frederick Bachman's books, and it'll be my first one. So we'll see. We'll see. Okay. The next 2 are from my Book of the Month boxes, like various Book of the Month boxes that I have. Okay. So I'll jump to this one. This was part of my January Book of the Month box, and it is The Prophets by Robert Jones Jr. This is his debut novel. And it takes place in, I think, the 1830s, during slavery in the United States in the Deep South. It's set in the Deep South, and it focuses on Isaiah and Samuel, and they have a forbidden love. You know, they are gay, they are enslaved on a plantation, and there are dynamics that come to play. And again, as I mentioned, I was really intrigued, and I'd heard really promising things about Robert Jones Jr.'s writing. Some of the other writings that he's done prior to writing this novel. This one is the wild card, because if you go on Goodreads and you look at the average review, out of the 5 that I've picked, it has the lowest average reviews. There are some reviewers who have given this like a pretty low star rating, but then again, I have some reviewers again that I trust and follow that have given it very high ratings. For instance, Roxane Gay gave this a 5-star rating. So I love and agree with a lot of what Roxane Gay says about when she reviews. She reviews prolifically, and also she writes, and I adore her writing. So I understand that some people didn't like this, but I feel that I probably will. It's a little bit of a chonker. It's like 400 pages, and I think it's going to make my heart hurt. My heart's gonna hurt. I might cry. Okay. But I'm excited. I'm excited for the hurt. Okay. So 4 down, 1 to go, right? I said 5-star predictions. So, dun 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 dun. Razorblade Tears by S.A. Cosby. I have never read anything from S.A. Cosby. I had never even heard of S.A. Cosby prior to seeing this as an option on Book of the Month, okay? But I got this summer in my, what was it, my July box, okay? This is a bit more of a, like, sort of intense, what am I trying to say? More of an intense, like, contemporary, sort of like a adventure type novel. And the premise is that you have two fathers. One is a black father, one is a white father. They're both ex-cons, and their sons, who were married, are murdered. And so they are on a quest for vengeance. They are, you know, an unlikely duo coming together for a common cause, right? Like they're having to kind of bridge the gap in order to reach a common goal, okay? And that just sounds like, I was like, oh yes. And I was doing like casting in my brain, right? Like, oh, this would make a movie that I would just be excited to see, right? So this, I think it's going to be a 5-star read for me. You know, and all of these that I have are kind of like different kind of 5-star reads, right? Like this will be a 5-star read, but not in the same feelings that I would for, like, say, The Poet X, okay? But again, just like others, it is promising. I've seen some promising reviews, and I'm also interested in S.A. Cosby's other novel, Blacktop Wasteland. I eyeballed it in the bookstore. I won't lie. I eyeballed that book and thought, I might have to put that on my Christmas list. Or sooner. If I read this and I just love the writing, it might be sooner. I'm just saying. So, let me stack them up and show them to you guys. Here they are. Ooh, here they are. Okay. Here we go. So yeah, like I've got 5 5-star predictions. So what'll happen is that I will I'll read them as I go. Like I have them on a shelf on Goodreads so I won't forget about them, but I'm not going to drop what I'm doing and then jump into them. So I'll read them as we go. And within a calendar year, I'll do some sort of an update specifically about it. We'll come back and we'll look at this and we'll see, was I right? Do I know my own taste? Maybe so. I don't know. We'll see. So if you got this far in the video, give me a thumbs up. If you're a subscriber, thanks for being subscribed. If you're not, please consider being a subscriber. I will do my best to kind of put more and more content out there and keep it fresh and interesting and whatever. If you've read any of these books, holler at me and tell me. You're like, girl, you way off. It's not a 5-star read. Let me know what you think. And I guess I will see you guys again soon. Bye.